Hi, welcome to the second video lesson on drugs and compensatory responses. Compensatory responses can help explain phenomena that you're familiar with, such as drug tolerance, a tendency for larger doses of a drug needed to have the same effect over time. So many people, I've been told, experience this with pain medications. In order to get the same amount of pain relief, the dose needs to be increased over time. Some people need to take more of a sleeping medication over time to get the same effect. Some people need to take more anti-anxiety medications to get the same relief over time. Drug withdrawals, the experience of reactions opposite to that produced of the drug in its absence. So when the weekend comes and you normally have coffee in the morning and it's Saturday, you don't get your coffee, you feel just a little bit sluggish. And this sluggishness is the opposite of a stimulant. It is thought that the withdrawal symptoms may be the compensatory response being active in the absence of the drug. Now, compensatory responses, this is not covered in your book, but I think it's important to understand how drugs work. Compensatory responses can explain drug tolerance and drug withdrawals, but they can also explain unexpected deaths of a drug overdose by experienced drug users who use their normal amount while consuming drugs in a different location than they normally take the drug. And when we say location, we're talking geographical location. So if they normally use it in a park, they are now using it in a bathroom. If they normally use it in a bathroom, now they're using it in an alleyway. When they change locations, they are at risk of an accidental drug overdose. So the example I will use, I know it's going to make some people upset, but I'm going to use Jim Morrison of The Doors. Now, Jim Morrison of The Doors is probably an experienced drug user who in fact did die, but officially died of a heart attack. He probably died of a drug overdose. He probably used the normal amount he was using. However, he was in a new location. He was in a Paris bathroom, which was a new location, and that was unfamiliar to him. So he was at risk for a drug overdose. Now we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I want to go through drug tolerance, drug withdrawals, and compensatory responses in a stepwise fashion. If you slowly add information, it increases the odds that you're going to remember the information. So I've got a picture here and the definition of drug tolerance, a decrease in responsiveness of a drug, and usually you need to increase the dosage to get the same effect. So I've got in this column January, February, March, and April. That is not to represent 1 month time intervals. Do not take that literally. That's just to illustrate that time is passing by. This green figure, closest thing I had on word clip art to do that of a drug. And I got a happy face that's getting smaller. It's just meaning that the effect is getting smaller. So drug tolerance, as time goes by, if you use the same amount of the drug, 1 unit, especially at home, and that will come into play later, you get a smaller effect. And most people kind of understand that idea of drug tolerance. Again, I'm trying to take it slowly and adding more information. Another way of looking at it, as time goes by, you need more and more of the drug, increasing from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Don't take that as literal 1, 2, 3, and 4, but that's just to indicate that the drug dosage is increasing. So as time goes by, you increase the amount of the drug to get the same effect. Okay, so now let me introduce the compensatory response. Compensatory response, a reaction by the body to drugs in an attempt to maintain homeostasis. So we have, as time goes by, you need more and more of the drug to get the same effect. And that's what I had on the last picture. What I've added is this gray version of the drug to represent that the body is acting in the opposite direction. So 1 drug plus 0 compensatory response is still 1 happy face. As time goes by, the compensatory response is getting stronger, so we have 2 drugs. -1 in the opposite direction is still 1 happy face. 3 drugs plus 2 in the opposite direction is still 1 happy face. 4 of the drug plus 3 in the opposite direction is 1 happy face. And I'm simplifying this for the purpose of illustration. If you don't like the drug picture, use arrows up and arrow down. 1 arrow up for the drug plus 0 is still 1 arrow up. 2 arrows up plus 1 acting in the opposite direction is still 1 arrow up. 3 arrows up plus 3 arrows going down is still 1 arrow going up. So this compensatory response is getting stronger and stronger over time to explain why we need more and more of the drug to get the same effect. So hopefully you're okay with that, because I'm going to add something a little bit more. Withdrawal effects, the experience of strong reactions opposite to those produced by the drug. Withdrawal symptoms might be thought of the drug's compensating response still becoming active in the absence of the drug. So, as a review from last time, as time goes by, you need more and more of the drug to get the same effect. And the reason for that is because the compensatory response is getting stronger. What I've added in this picture is May. That's just to indicate that time goes by or a different day. Now, when you take drugs, there's a behavioral pattern in terms of taking the drug. So if you're taking sleeping medication, you might brush your teeth, turn off the lights, make the bed, take your sleeping medication. Not necessarily in that order. But that behavioral cue and that context, and the context of it being night, tells the body that sleeping medication is coming soon. So there's these psychological and environmental triggers that can activate the compensatory response in the absence of the drug. So in this column, May, because of the environment, the location, and it's very hard to identify what these triggers are, can trigger the compensatory response. So in the absence of the drug, so Saturday morning, you normally have coffee, you wake up and get coffee, but it's a weekend you don't, your body expects that coffee to come, so it triggers the compensatory response proactively. So, but you're not taking the drug, so you have that compensatory response being triggered, which is the effect that is opposite to that of the drug. So with sleeping medications, this is one of the problems about not taking your sleeping medication and not taking anti-anxiety medications, is that it can make your anxiety worse, because sleeping medications, anti-anxiety medications, might slow the body down. And when you don't take it, it stimulates the body, it arouses it. So not taking it can make you even more awake and can make you more anxious. So there are some problems about taking depressants for some problems. We'll skip that for now. Now the last one, same sort of thing as before. As time goes by, you need more and more of the drug to get the same effect. And that's because the compensatory response is getting stronger over time. Now in the May 1 column, when you don't take the drug, the compensatory response still gets triggered by environmental cues, which produces withdrawal effects. In the last row, if you take the same amount of the drug in a new location, so I have the house in the previous locations, but you do it at a new location like the beach, the beach is not going to trigger a strong compensatory response like your home would. So this is one of the things that puts you at risk for dying of a drug overdose, is that in a new location, you're taking the same amount of the drug, but the compensatory response is not as strong, so it puts you at risk of a drug overdose. That's why Jim Morrison probably died of a drug overdose, is that the compensatory response was not as strong. this concludes the video lesson for compensatory responses and drugs. Thank you.